Here we are. This is the second series in Titans League Platinum, and DracKeN had his name in his draft, Mr. Platinum. I will admit, made me look like a fool. When I did the predictions for Gold in Season 1, I think I said DracKeN was going to be 4th or 5th, and he made a meme, and I'll send it to people if they want to see it, and sent it to me when he was first in his group. And he was basically like, yeah, you're wrong. He was really proud of that performance in Gold, shocked everybody, and the thing I would say about this guy, because he has that CL in front of his name, and a lot of people immediately assume that means he's only good on one type of map. He's really good with strategy. Like, he will develop build orders, and he will try and execute that build order to get an early advantage. So I think with Lithuanians, already we're seeing kind of a more standard build where he's going to go for the early dock. But I think he's going to try and sneak a Vil, Dave. I say that because I played him before on it, and I've seen a couple ladder games on Four Lakes where he'll go fast feudal into the early dock. Obviously, though, as you said, Yo, outstanding player, top 5 player in the world right now, top 5 player of all time. He's one of the GOATs of the game. It's going to be a tough task for DracKeN.
I think, like, Yo is probably the worst player to sneak against as well.
Yeah,
because
I can agree.
You're sneaking against Yo, and he probably already has the sneak against you by that point, right? He's probably already got a villager in your stuff, and he's so good at adapting. Like, that's the thing I think Yo is best at in terms of his skill set. And he might be the best in the game at just like organizing chaos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like getting his eco stable behind fights that are happening at 3 or 4 different points in the map. And he's not a quick player. He can be quick on occasion. Like he can quick wall and whatever. But on average, he's slower than the top guys. He makes up for it though. Good decision making and being able to make things messy, but keep it clean at home.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, chaos is certainly not going to be something that Yo's scared of here. Just to bring up something we just talked about, these two players have been known for years across our scene, but they have never played each other in a tournament, ever. So, they won't have that experience going into it. Like, I can remember DracKeN playing a lot of other big names, like Viper, like Hera, for example. But that's pretty interesting. I wonder how many times that'll happen this season. Ooh, yo, be careful. Scout will go into the TC. It's not as bad as it could be, but obviously makes things awkward for him later on when he's contesting the pawns.
Yep.
All right, so what do we think of the civs? Both civs like pretty much in that top 3. Neither civ has any massive weaknesses here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at Castle Age as the weakness for Japanese, kind of. If the Lithuanians get their monks rolling, get the relics in, I like their tech tree a little bit more. As well, if we head into like super late game, Japanese gonna struggle a little bit against Lithuanians, but the Japanese are gonna find their opportunities earlier on, right? In feudal age, sneak docks and whatnot. Fishing ships survive longer against a fire ship, fire galley forward dock placement from the Lithuanians. However, Lithuanians already have 3 fishing ships out, and the Japanese just working on their second.
Yep, this is what that build will do. Now, look at this from Yo. The boar's pretty close, actually. And he's trying to lame here. Now, he could still kill that villager. DracKeN's choosing to pull back. I guess the nice thing is you don't need to rush that boar in right now if you don't need to, because you have all the other food income. But that's Yo just being a little annoying, as you said, Dave. And you did use that word, by the way. You used it as a compliment, but you used the word annoying when describing Yo as a player.
Yeah, 100%. He's one of my favorite players to watch because of it. Like, when I think about my favorite players to watch, we have MBL and Yo. And if there's one word, word that can be used to describe both of them, maybe annoying is one of them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
Hard to kill as well.
And I think, we don't disagree on a ton, but I'm in full agreement, by the way. Like, Yo and MBL are really fun to watch. And speaking of MBL, you remember, guys, in the first season, he kind of came into things. People were like, well, he's got his job now. He's got this and that. He doesn't prepare. Is normal, the conversation with MBL. But he was first in his group in season 1. So when we see him, I actually forget which group he's in right now because I don't have the groups memorized at the moment. But I'm excited to see him play in season 2.
Are you surprised by the fact that Yo has a villager near the back of DracKeN's base already? And that he didn't go all the way around. He went right through the middle.
Wow.
And he's going to just avoid the villagers. No. DracKeN sees it for only a second, though. Did he notice it? He's seen it a bunch of times.
I don't think he noticed it because he would pull a villager there in a fishing ship.
Yep.
Wow.
He's probably going to send a fishing ship over there anyway. He might not because he's fully walled here. He might not send a fishing ship. He might send one to the left side. But this is what Yo does, and Yo has already killed an extra turkey, and he's luring, or geese rather, and he's luring 2 more away.
Oh man, the fact that like
DracKeN saw it, DracKeN saw it, DracKeN saw it, DracKeN saw it.
Okay, so the important thing here for DracKeN is that you just assume that you're not going to stop that. Like a lot of people are going to try and attack with Vills. They'll panic and they try and make a tower or whatever. But he realizes as Yo's going to wall his villager in here. The situation.
The ugly thing for Yo here is that he can't put a dock there because of the shorefish. I think he would want to like go eventually for a second dock there. But he's setting himself up a nice little area where maybe he could palisade and repair a fire ship without being ranged by the fire ship.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, because if he had just the palisades, he wouldn't be able to repair. Yeah. But now he can actually repair in that spot.
It's not too bad, actually.
Yeah.
Yo is also going for a barracks, so he's probably going to follow this up with an archer range. He is running away with a scout that it's pretty weak, and the scout from DracKeN is full HP, which might actually matter against the archers coming forward.
DracKeN also is not planning to have to go to gold. He was planning on being greedy with the fish, and so he can't produce out of 2 docks right now. So his first dock is going to produce a fire galley, but Yo's actually ahead in production there. So I really like this start from Yo, both in the dock positioning and what he's forcing from DracKeN, but with the follow-up with the archer range likely going to be coming out.
Also, Yo added a couple extra fishing ships at home, even after he got to feudal age. So
I like that.
Yeah.
All right,
he's just so good on like any maps that involve water and land combination. Yo is so dangerous.
And remember what I brought up is like DracKeN sneaks Vills a lot. Nope. Like Yo was there super early. And even though DracKeN
Vill coming across.
Yeah,
there's a Vill coming across from DracKeN. I don't know if that's for the pond at the back though. Yo is like scouting his shoreline just to make sure.
Yeah.
Or if it's probably for the pond at the right side. Yeah.
I like the walling here from DracKeN. So what he did notice is that Yo does have the range on the way. He also killed Yo's scout.
Blacksmith, forward blacksmith.
What?
Yo walls himself in. Forward blacksmith, baby. Also kind of laming the gold too.
That's like so stupid, but amazing. That's exactly what it does, though. It blocks off that gold later.
Yeah, gives him a bit of sight into the eco from DracKeN as well. Also, he's keeping all of his ships inside his dock, so DracKeN doesn't know if there's just like one fishing ship queued up in that dock. He doesn't know.
He's actually making a lot of demos here. So what you normally want to do in Yo's position is you want to send one fire out, so the fires from DracKeN group up, and then release a demo. So we'll see if he gets to do that. He doesn't do that, but he collides with 2 ships, so that's still really good. And then he gets another one.
And now he takes some... Oh, yeah. Great engagement there, and another demo on the way. And DracKeN's going to have to produce out of both of these docks here. He's got 6 fishing ships there. He is fishing on the right pond, but look at that. Yo is there, and Yo's going to find this villager that is weak on the right side, too. Let's see how quickly he notices. He doesn't notice right away.
I would feel overwhelmed if I were DracKeN, but I'd also feel flexed on at the moment with some of the things that are happening. Like, Yo saves the villager again. Yo's now dominating this pond. He doesn't notice that villager on the right side, but obviously just knowing that dock is there.
DracKeN doesn't see it either. Now, DracKeN could go over there and wall that in, and that would be the true flex, but Yo is just going to move away with that and build a dock somewhere else.
I honestly, I don't know what more you really do if you're DracKeN. Like, you've tried to recover so many times. Yeah. You spotted the villager. You're losing some fish now. You can't fish on the right side, and Yo's going to have archers, too. Yo's super annoying. Let's see if Yo saves the villager this time. It's very weak. He's got other things he's focusing on.
He's repairing the dock.
That was probably a misclick, but that
means my last breath
means he's paying attention.
Wall here. Pop.
Right after one more hit. Nah, he's just going to let it die, I guess. All right. Well, I think mission accomplished so far in that pond. He killed 2 fishing ships. He's freely fishing at home. And then on the right side, he's going to go kill that Vill now. And also contest that
showing
pond.
Up there with the archers. And that villager is super dead, even though the archers don't have fletching. She is going to die quite quickly. And then the fires will clear up the fish. Yo, I wonder if do you make additional ships, or you just keep one ship in that dock? Make DracKeN invest. I think maybe the dock's weak enough now that
Yeah, I think maybe a demo, but I think you're happy with what you've done because, dude, look at his base at home. He's added farms. He's been on berries. He hasn't had to use the market at all. Great job from DracKeN to do so, though, because that kind of keeps him alive in this game. But yeah, just really impressive stuff from Yo here. DracKeN's in full recovery mode. Will likely defend his pond in the north. And is still competing for the pond on the right side.
And
so
there's no villager to repair in the right side. So Yo should theoretically win this. The DracKeN is well, does still have a fire there, and he has the second one coming out. So if Yo isn't paying attention, maybe he could win that pawn. Still, things are looking good for Yo. Also, 11 seconds of LTC time there for Yo, and he's up to Castle Age half a minute faster while doing archers and the forward pawn and all the shenanigans. Really impressive.
Can we talk about that scout from DracKeN right now? It's just like,
boy,
does Yo see it? Okay.
Talk about getting flexed on you. Like just
well, I thought, wouldn't it have been funny if Yo saw it and just walled it in instead of killing it?
Look at where Yo is with the archers. So many players would be trying to like get into DracKeN's eco or attacking walls or something.
Yeah.
Yo is just like, hey, are you on this other pond? Let me scout that out. Maybe it's an opportunity for me.
Nice little move there. DracKeN boldly brought another villager over to the right side.
Very boldly.
But she did not go where she needed to go. Looks like Yo's going to clear up water here. DracKeN, though, he's got faster producing monasteries. He's got 800 gold. I could see him going Knight Monk and actually surprising Yo here. Like you said, Dave, like Japanese, they have the flexibility in Dark Age and Feudal. Yo's used a lot of that. But ultimately, you know, the Lithuanians have a stronger peak, I think.
Look at the walls coming from Yo. It's going to secure like a quarter of the map here.
Yep. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see triple monastery. DracKeN will know how far behind he is.
I'd love to see Yo come out with a dock for that left pawn too. It's not that big of an expense with Japanese.
Yep, I agree.
Could really pay off.
He's going super greed here with the TCs. It's a bit awkward for Yo if he is up against double or triple monastery, but I think DracKeN wants to go forward with it. And so he hasn't moved out yet. I think it'd be better to just drop them, personally, so you can get the monks out.
Yeah, you need a couple monks to go forward with this.
Yeah.
Because Yo is already producing knights, right? If he finds your villagers, you're done.
Yep, exactly. DracKeN's, it must be happy at least that the knights are not going to find him, but he doesn't pull his knight to the left side. And this is just pure clown right in the middle. Double monastery.
Yo just passed that with the spearman. He didn't see anything, so he doesn't expect it. But the knight might drag him over there. Okay, DracKeN drags him back. Yo attacking the palisade walls, and now the monasteries are going to get up, to be fair. Just how much damage can he do against a 3 TC opponent that's going to have 2 pawns under his control? Probably 3.
Good job from DracKeN. He's got to be really careful here. Those knights could get in. He has to get the farmer on that house.
No!
Oh, if he'd gone at least one monastery at home, it could have just pushed all that away. But DracKeN's really far behind now. All of Yo's TCs are going to be spamming villagers. But he can clear this up. It might be annoying. Like, Yo will have like 1/3 of a knight remaining here. But I think he will end up clearing that in the end. Triple Monastery Siege Workshop in the middle then, Dave. And yeah, that knight from Yo is going to be super annoying.
Monastery. 700 gold in the bank. He's ready to go, dude. He's ready to go. And here comes Yo with the knights. And he's going to be like, excuse me?
Yeah, well...
Once those monks start converting?
Yeah, he needs to delete those.
Delete.
Oh, that one was fast. The other one died?
He didn't press shift there.
Dude, I'm telling you, Yo not scouting that is really dangerous for him. Like, he also...
Go on stone now if you're Yo?
Yeah, you do, but like, if he had scouted it, he could have gone stone already, and that's rangeable. And we have Redemption, we have Sanctity, and we have Siege already from DracKeN. There is absolutely a chance for him.
Yo can buy a castle if he wants to.
That's true.
Needs a market, though. Does need a market.
I think, as Yo's going to bring his own monks over from the left, so clearly he wasn't expecting to need this for units. I think that since you're going to need ballistics for cav archers anyways, which is what Yo's going to try, just drop a university and just go guard tower. Yeah. I don't hate that move at all here.
Scouts are out from the stable, and they might find that monk. DracKeN paying attention, though. Does have Sanctity. Scouts coming in here. Does get the conversion. Oh, my God.
I think this monk will stay alive. There's sanctities in, so Yo would have to get super lucky. There you go. Yo's not going to expect that redemption is in yet, by the way. He will assume that that would come in after he shows siege. So there's a possibility that Yo's initial Mangonel gets immediately converted. And Yo doesn't even have fletching and he's making Cav Archers. He's gone so greedy with this boom, Dave. DracKeN is well on his way to punishing this. This is really good from DracKeN.
Yo coming back with the archers now. Without fletching, I think even they'll struggle to kill that half HP monk.
Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see.
Come on, get it!
Oh, got it! Worth it.
Hey, he bought himself another, he probably bought himself another 15 seconds with those archers.
Dude, no.
Time to get stone in, time to get a Mangonel out. Here comes the Mangonel. Only 3 monks there from DracKeN. He does notice Mangonel from Yo. He's going to start converting it. Yo needs to delete that now.
Yeah, he does.
Thank you.
He does. And his Cav Archers are now a distraction. But 4 Mangonels, honestly, counterattacking is the best thing you can do if you're Yo. It's exactly what he's doing. But the push should continue from DracKeN. Do not allow yourself to be too distracted. You have to kill Yo. Yo wants you to stop pushing here. What a push it is. Behind by 25
on
eco.
Stone from Yo. One thing Yo is also really good at is defending.
Yeah.
And right now he's just kind of buying himself enough time. Look, he distracted with the Cav Archers at the back. He came in with the Cav Archers on the side. Managed to snipe a Mangonel.
Oh.
Converts 2 knights. And the TC is still alive. He's getting Bodkin Arrow right now. And he has enough stone for a castle. Which should be able to stall out this this push.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, where do you drop it? I think to the right of the TC is also the perfect position. But
you have a Mangonel to
still dangerous.
Prevent him from coming in with his own Mangonels. So does DracKeN push here? I don't think you can. There's just too many villagers building that.
Yeah, I mean, you could switch position. A lot of clowns are really going to want to take out the TC at the very least. You could still range the TC with that castle there, I think. But I don't have range mod while I'm casting because it looks horrible. So I'm not entirely sure. The castle might actually take out the Mangonel. Yeah.
Wait, you have it while you're playing?
I have the faint one. I don't have the weird colored one that makes it look disgusting. But yeah, I do use a 10% gray circle.
Ew. All right, so Stable is going to get converted before Husbandry comes in. Archer range is already converted. Tower is coming up, and DracKeN is just turning this into arena right now with the amount of monks that he has. He has 12 monks on the field. Siege is following up.
Dude, he has a stable in the front now. He could make knights. He's got 2 relics. He also has atonement, so he can convert Yo's monks. Yo is still in trouble here. DracKeN's insane, man. Imagine if he didn't take some of the losses he did in this game. This guy could really put up a fight with any good monk civ and behind an eco.
Converting the houses, but he's going to lose monks here. It feels like he was kind of charging up against those houses so he could convert any units coming in. Still running around with the Cav Archers is Yo, and he might find this TC from DracKeN at the front.
Oh, that's huge.
And he will, and that's big.
Yeah, because you can't delete the palisade walls to save your vills, because if you do, the rest of the vills die. So this might actually be an instance where DracKeN feels like he has to go home with some
He did delete
monks.
the palisade wall. He did delete it. But I guess
it wasn't the other one, at least.
TC if you were Yo, yep. It's going to harass the wood line a little bit. DracKeN still has not killed the town center for Mr. Yo.
Still no guard tower from Yo, but Yo is
pushing out with a Mangonel. Big shot.
Also, Yo has redemption now, Dave, and he gets another one, and now the next one goes down too. Oh!
And the other one died to the castle.
Oh God, it all falls apart.
Everything is falling apart.
And well, it was a good fight from DracKeN as the Cav Archers and Knights get in, and as Yo's prepping Light Cav to swoop in to kill the rest. I think Yo is officially held, even though it was dicey for him here in this first game.
Yeah, Yo bought himself just enough time to get the stone for the castle.
Yep.
He bought himself probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes with the armies that he sent in, right? He sent the scouts in. That kills a monk. That buys you 15 seconds. He sends the archers in. That kills another monk and distracts. So it buys you another 30 seconds. He has a Mangonel. He's going back and forth. It buys you some more time. And then he has enough stone for a castle. And DracKeN can't push anymore.
DracKeN loses a Mangonel, which he can convert right
three
back.
Monks here. He's going to lose 3 monks.
Nice job from Yo. Yo's had a couple instances though where I don't want to say he got lucky, but he calculated it to the millisecond with some of these conversions.
We'll say calculated.
Yeah, we'll say calculated. You can't always fully calculate it, but he's going to move in here with the light cav, and he's going to swoop in to kill all these monks, and DracKeN calls the GG. But a really good game, I think, to start off the series. Sorry, my game kind of sped up there near the end. Like, obviously, the beginning here was amazing for Yo. It was the worst possible start for DracKeN. It looked like it'd be bad, and he still gave himself a chance. Yo defends, though. Great job from him once he saw the triple monastery to just instantly go to stone and then delay things as long as possible.
It was a fun game. DracKeN also decent enough macro behind it. He was floating wood there just at the end.
Yeah.
But like idle TC time, only 43 seconds.
Yeah, true.
So usually when you see like a 3 monastery push with Siege, that idle TC time is really racking up, right?
Yep.
But DracKeN keeping his TCs running, he even ran out of fish at the pond, so he had farms doing the job for him. Yo, however, taking control of the map, reading that really well, and responding to the monk push extremely well.
I wonder how this goes
Yo.
if DracKeN goes like for the first monastery right away at home, and there's 3 knights don't get into his eco. Because it felt like, you know, he needed a little bit of momentum before he took the position. I guess at the end of the day, he did get there. So
also, then Yo has more time to prepare, right? Like when Yo first figured out about the monasteries, he had to delete 2 knights, but one of them got converted.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And then the monks have to run across the map. So yeah, I think DracKeN probably ended up doing the right thing there. But, you know, not a bad first game. DracKeN does have fortified clearing. So if you look at the way the drafts was situated, he actually could have gone for Fortress or Regicide Fortress or Fortified Clearing. He chose Fortified Clearing instead, which was interesting to me. And it feels like if DracKeN's going to get a win in this series against a player like Yo, this is going to be the map. And you said it, Dave, like Yo of the supposed top 5, whoever you place in that conversation on any given day, probably hates Arena more than any of them. He banned Arena, as anyone probably should, against DracKeN throughout Titans League. But DracKeN's here on his home map, and it is Fortified Clearing. So nothing has changed from this map from the first season, but if you didn't follow that, you've got walls in the front that are 1080 HP, and then you have open sides, so you could always choose to attack there. 9 total relics, with 5 being in the middle, and then 2 additional, or I guess like 4 additional relics on the sides, and then that's pretty much it, man. But I feel like with this matchup, it is definitely about middle control. I mean, Turks have more mobility than Britons, but still, when you think of Turks on this map, you see a lot of control in the middle with light cav and Janissaries. So what do you think DracKeN's going to aim for here with the Britons?
I don't know, man. I think the early forward pressure onto the back of your opponent's base is a giant trap.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I saw it actually work. It usually just delays the player.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to wall at the back. Maybe if they don't have Loom, you can surprise them, but that's not going to work against the top guys. Like, they're going to wall that off early. So I don't know for DracKeN. Maybe it's just like Fast Castle with some crossbows.
Yeah.
Light cav doesn't feel great against Turks, right? Even if you want to contest the relics.
Agreed.
Crossbows at least can snipe the monks. Maybe you're just trying to get like, how many relics are there? 9?
Yeah, there's 9.
Maybe you're just trying to get like 4 of them under your control, maybe.
I mean, the other thing about relics too is it does depend on how long the game goes, right? Because I think the relics only kick in if the game goes a certain period of time. So there is a world where he could just use the cheap town centers with Britons and then end up contesting in a different way. Also, he's got 3 on wood, so maybe he goes scouts. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the pure ignoring relic strategy on this map doesn't work as well as it does on Arena.
Yeah, agreed.
Just because even if you ignore relics, get that early eco boost with the boom, if you push them out of the middle of the base, there's still all this area they can expand to, right?
Yeah.
And so they can buy themselves kind of time for those relics to really kick in.
And it's less predictable. You're not going to have any vision. So it's less predictable on what they do to you as well, because they could always side attack. DracKeN's going to wall now. We'll need to add a house into that wall, which I'm sure he'll do. And we'll see what Yo does. Like, I'm thinking the safe play for Yo is just to go for the light cav and boom. But maybe he feels like if his opponent's going to drop the town centers, there's actually an avenue for him to be able to go for a castle drop.
Remember, Yo hates arena-style maps. This is more open, so he might not want to go into the arena meta with like Cav.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he should because he's Turks, but he might choose to even go forward with something.
Yeah.
At the back of DracKeN's base, who knows? That's why I love watching Yo. You never really know what you're gonna get, right?
Well, Yo did have one of the sickest predictions in all of. This is like typical caster exaggeration, but seriously, one of the sickest predictions in my time casting Arena when he played Dragonstar in the first season, where Dragonstar was going like naked fast imp into like a defensive castle and 4 monasteries for monks with Burmese. And Yo was like, wait a second. And he initially was adding a stable. He went for archery range and he siege towered over crossbows and denied the castle while Dragonstar was fast imping.
Dragonstar probably didn't even have Loom there.
Yeah. Also, he was like, I'm trying to remember what civilization that Yo had, but it was, I think, Burgundians, where you'd always go light cav. So it was just such a sick play. But yeah, you're right.
Dragonstar tried to, he did that with Burmese on Fortress yesterday against Samaro. And Samaro was, he was Portuguese. So Samaro is going for a fast imp, right? And he even queues up villagers in Dark Age to make Dragonstar think that like he was up faster than he actually was. So he had,
like over queued vills?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he does that, and then he clicks up the imp. He's going up the imp with 26 villagers. Plot twist, Dragonstar somehow managed to get the imp with 24 villagers. Or whatever, like something ridiculous, right? Because it's Regicide start, so they get a little bit more resources at the beginning. And when Dragonstar hit imp like a minute before him, Samaro was like, oh.
Did he say oh?
He said something. What did he say?
Okay, I didn't see this game.
This is going to get interesting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like that.
That's good. No, I saw the Kilimanjaro
he said,
game.
Oh boy. That's what he said. Oh boy.
I saw game 1 and I saw game 3 of that series. So
Kilimanjaro was crazy, bro. Like only a BF player would go for that strategy.
Oh, Yo is being very risky here. That's an unloomed villager. DracKeN should absolutely kill that vill if he sees it's not loomed.
Yep.
He went out of the vision of the barracks and he's going to loop back.
Yo. Oh, this is so frustrating for Yo.
Yo can quick wall on the corner of the barracks.
He can quick wall in open space as well. He's fast enough to do that. We've seen him do that. Against like Viper before, and he doesn't manage to save the Vill. Scout gets away.
That's really sloppy. I mean, some players just don't want to full wall it. In fact, there's an opportunity for DracKeN if Yo doesn't queue up Loom to even kill the other villager walling in the south. So DracKeN killing 2 vills plus having the cheap town centers could give him an amazing eco lead. He should absolutely go for this one. With the hill there, he should.
Try and get on the hill. Try and get the advantage. He's going to be feudal age in 7 seconds.
Oh, you got to wait for that too. That's an important point.
He doesn't get it. He just runs right past. I think he was paying attention to something else.
Yeah, that also, and he's not going to add his own scouts. So he's might be thinking that he wants that scout alive to contest for monks. Now it's not going to work.
No.
Yeah, missed
Scout
opportunity.
Is dead. Super dead. Market Blacksmith for DracKeN. He'll click up. 27 population, looks like. And nope. Yep, 27 population. I did calculate the scout correctly.
Right as the scout's going down.
27 bills, but 27 population works. And he goes up.
Okay, a little bit of market usage there, not a big deal. So yeah, this is going to be town centers then from DracKeN. He's not going to really... Oh, never mind. He's going to add a barracks now, so... Maybe Spearmen. And, I think we've seen it enough times. I'm not in love with this Spearman in monks because the enemy monks can just convert your Spearman, and it just seems really awkward. But also, as you said, you probably want to contest the relics at least a little bit because there are 9 on this map. So, like, giving up all 5 in the middle will most certainly mean that your opponent's going to not stop there and then loop around to the other side too. So,
I think a big problem for DracKeN is that he only sees 1 relic on the outside.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
true.
know where the other ones are, right? Like, and it's usually 3 relics show up on one side and 1 relic shows up on the other. I guess you could assume that there's only 1 on the bottom side because the limited amount of space.
Maybe, yeah. And we'll see. I think ultimately, like, regardless of how many relics get brought in here, I think this game gets decided by if DracKeN can push the middle. The imp timing is something that the arena players rely so heavily on. So getting the first castle in front of Yo's walls, Treb pushing with halbs or whatever else, I think is just going to be so important here. The other...
I like the fact that Yo deleted the house and went for a gate in the north of his base.
Yeah, I agree
just so
with
his
you.
monks can sneak out there.
Yep.
And he doesn't have to worry about like deleting it, making a hole, and then re-walling it afterwards. Really nice touch. And also sending a scout out there immediately.
Yep, I agree.
Great job.
He'll get Lycav for free, which is a huge bonus, and he's going to drop that monastery on the front. For DracKeN, you should expect the second town center to come up almost right away.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to need to house wall the south side, but he needs houses anyways, so I don't think that it annoys him too much. And Yo will see the spearman now from DracKeN in the middle, so he has an idea that DracKeN's going to be sending at least that towards the middle. One thing
Yo
to
keeps
just
massing Lycav though. He can just kill the spears.
I know, right?
Like
Like you have to
doesn't
keep
make
the
enough,
spearmen
right?
together.
Yeah.
It's not a play that I love, but you know, DracKeN's more experienced in the arena world than I am. Something just to touch on real quick, because it's a good question. People asked how the groups were made, and the groups are all based on the performances from the players in their first season. So, like for Yo, I forget what place he was in. I think he was 3rd in his group. So he got placed as player number 3 in a group. For example, all the group winners were separated from each other. Second place was all separated from each other, all the way down then to the promoted players like DracKeN being randomized, but it's all separated from each other. So you basically have
You mean you didn't do a duck race, bro?
no duck race.
That's the new
thought about it.
That's the new meta, bro. Duck race for seeding and for civs.
Oh, they do it for civs as well. I didn't know that.
That's how they did it for Clown Legion League. So that's why like the Clown Legion League games are really interesting because we had like Sicilians versus Burmese. We had like God, what were some of the civ matchups yesterday, guys?
I saw
There was some really
Dravidians.
good Huns against
I saw Dravidian Slavs.
yeah,
I think.
Dravidian Slavs as well. Huns against someone. The Huns player actually won. Kind of crazy.
I loved how
Huns versus
after the
Ethiopians? Yeah.
after the 4.5-hour arena game from hell, the next day you're like, I need more arena in my life.
I do, dude. On average, I like casting arena games better than like open map games. There's just less expected, you know.
Yeah, I got you. Well, a little bit of a Vil lead here for DracKeN. Only 3 Lycav for Yo, and so he's going to try and convert the Spearman, but I don't think he has the number of monks and Lycav there to really contest that relic. DracKeN's going to have 2 now, and like we said, I feel like 2's okay. You get 3, and you still have the Vil lead and the potential to push the middle later on. I think this is pretty good, all things considered.
This monk paid a lot for that protection service.
See,
There's like 3 bodyguards there. Get out of the way. Everyone out. Get out of the way.
got to be careful here if you're Yo. You don't want to lose the Lycav because there's a lot more relics here. I do not think this would actually
He's
be
gonna
worth
snipe
it.
that monk. He's gonna snipe that monk and get away. Okay.
Oh,
One
can you
scout
imagine
only
if that Lycav got converted, though? Oh, that would have been huge.
That would have been so bad.
I
Anyway,
mean-
relics from the middle. DracKeN's gonna get 3 here.
Yeah. I'm not
good.
sure if I mind his position too much, and you can already tell his thought process as he's going to transfer some Vils to stone. Yo also has done the same. Like, Yo actually has a mining camp on stone, so they're both thinking about castle timings at the moment.
Yo is going for the relic in the south, which he sees. He still has a light cap to the north, so DracKeN needs to respect that. Like I said, I think if you're DracKeN, out of the 9 relics, if you get 4, you're happy with that. with
Yep,
Britons.
I agree.
You're very pleased with that. And I think he might only get 4 here.
Does he have another one on the way back? Yeah, he might get one to the left. You're right. I guess that's
That's what
awkward
I'm
because I don't
talking
think he
about,
has it scout. Oh, no, he does have it scouted. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he does. That's the only one he can see, I believe.
Yeah, he should get that. It's going to take Yo a long journey over there.
No fervor. This monk is slow as balls.
Dude, it's so... I know, like, you could argue if Fervor is worth it on Arena because the relics are closer to everybody, but I think it's absolutely worth it in most situations to get Fervor on this map because the monks have to travel such a long distance.
If missionaries could carry relics, Spanish would actually be pretty strong in this
They should
map.
be able to. I absolutely
Yeah,
think they should.
I agree. With no reduction in speed. I know people are like, that's so OP. It's not OP. It's still a missionary, bro.
I personally would like the missionary to move as slow as a monk moves when holding the relic, so it slows down.
Nope.
But I think that change, like I think it would make Spanish a lot more interesting on maps that they're just garbage at right now, right?
Exactly, and it doesn't really improve them that much on maps they're already good at.
As long as like Turks, Burgundians, Bohemians, Britons, and all these civs never see any nerfs, I absolutely agree.
Missionaries, like, even comparing to a monk, they have less range than a monk. So even if, like, once you're done picking up the relics, they're less viable than your opponent's unit if they're making monks, right? So it's like, I don't know. Doesn't seem that strong. Anyway, the force is coming in here from DracKeN of 3 spearmen and a monk, and Yo is trying to wall this up. It's going to be denied, though.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to wall that up, but it is interesting how he's also going to push the other side. He loses the Vil now.
Bad.
What does DracKeN do? Just like make houses in that choke point now?
Make a wall of your own, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's actually very important. And wow, great job. Yo's gonna make an L push DracKeN though. This is where DracKeN wants to go forward. He wants to drop like 3 barracks or 3 archer ranges, and he wants to go forward. And now he's got to deal with some pressure on the backside. And this is the type of game that Yo wants. He won't get the wall down on the sides, but this is so annoying.
This is classic Yo. So many players go for, I speak about this all the time. Like, players go for Forward Siege Workshop when they're on 1 TC, right? They go for it opening for Castle Age. Yo waits till he's 3 or 4 TC, and then he goes for it.
Yep.
And then his opponent is responding to that while he's just kind of getting his eco sorted for Imperial Age, and he'll follow up on a different side. But he's still paying attention to this side, and that's the Imperial TC from DracKeN. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, clearly he thinks he's going to be able to stop this. He did add a stable, and he realizes that Yo doesn't have any monks there, so 2 knights will actually clear this. And I think Yo's waiting for a monastery, actually. He really needs to either get monks here or get a monastery. Speaking of what are you doing, that one villager that DracKeN converted is going to try and drop a town center.
Yeah.
This probably won't pan out unless the knight gets converted. Yo needs to delete that.
Not deleting that Vil is tragic. Yo's just going to reconvert it. Yo's going to reconvert it.
No, he won't. It's going to die. Oh my god.
Free.
This is extremely awkward for Yo at the moment because he doesn't have monks on the other side yet. DracKeN's going to clear that.
So when DracKeN gets to Imperial Age, because he has to repair this TC so much, he's not going to have any wood, it feels like. Although the knights are coming out, Yo doesn't have anything to deal with knights. So DracKeN was right. He was going to save this TC.
At least Yo walled that. Like, I like that aspect. Just do not leave this open. Okay, the villagers escaped.
He's fine.
Now he adds the monks. But he delayed his imp time a lot, and DracKeN can now send the units to the middle. He doesn't know this, but he could actually just drop that castle right on Yo's face. But he's going to place the safe castle for now, because obviously Yo could have some light cav and some units towards the middle. And I think Yo's actually waiting for that. He's making knights, and he sees the castle foundation with the outposts.
Yo needs to click up.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's going to try and get another conversion, and he does get it. And in the end, even keeps the monk alive in the north. So I guess that's been dealt with, which is nice. Yo will drop his own castle at the front of his base. Still hasn't clicked up the imp. Like, this timing could work out so well for DracKeN. So it's got to be a Treb first. In most cases, if you're DracKeN. If you know the castle's there. I guess he doesn't know that.
Conscription first.
The conscription, because he wants the faster production. Yo putting a lot of attention in the south by adding more monks. But I think the siege workshop will go down.
The problem with this for DracKeN, he was forced to make knights to deal with this push from Yo, right? And that means he wasn't making crossbows or archers or anything. So now he has 10 crossbows in the queue, but 0 on the field.
Yeah,
so you're trying to take advantage of this fast uptime, but you're probably like 2 minutes behind on production from where you actually want to be. And now Yo's knights are coming over to the other side. He's got a monk over there. DracKeN is going to try and re-wall this. Yo's going to prevent that. And Yo will continue to be very annoying.
Yo's so annoying.
He is.
He's so annoying.
It's incredible, dude.
Yeah. Well, let's see if DracKeN notices the castle, right? Like, he needs to just wall up at home and just delete the knights and just, like, not give any attention to that. Ends up killing a monk there. Yo's going to push there. DracKeN needs the next castle right next to his Trebs in the middle. Like, he absolutely needs to push mid.
Yep. But he's going to be super distracted, especially once the Turks reach imp and he can get bomber cannons out of that siege workshop.
Oh man, he might
So
even
he might
feel
actually
like
have to send crossbows back.
Yeah. And he might even feel like he needs to castle at home now, but that would not be the play if you're DracKeN.
No.
You have to castle forward next to your Treb.
They already got Halb, which is great.
And Yo's
Yo
super
already
late on
going
upgrades.
Yeah, he's going into cav upgrades, but like he doesn't have any units. He's going to be repairing this castle for a very long time.
Making another mangonel in the south, so that's obviously still going to be important. But there you go, DracKeN. I like this castle position a lot.
Mm-hmm. This is great.
Yo doesn't have a ton of stone to build more castles. His other stone's beneath this castle from DracKeN, so with no bomber cannons at home, big problem.
His monastery's right there. So
true. Also, crossbows have moved out here, Dave, but DracKeN's moved out too early. It's not the fight he would have wanted. I think he's going to put an end to this, but it was a little sloppy with his numbers there.
Halberdier goes down. Knight takes out the mangonel. He's re-walling behind this gate. Yo notices that, though. He's going to try and escape for the second time with these two villagers. And he'll convert the knight, and now he can go and be annoying again with more units. But look at this. DracKeN is still pushing in the middle. 3 trebs. Masonry coming in for Yo. If he loses that castle, he's going to lose the monastery as well with the 5 relics. He's queuing up Hussar behind, but Halb is already in for DracKeN. I like the setup for DracKeN. I really do.
DracKeN is amazing at unit queue. And what's fascinating is he does something that almost no other player in Platinum League will do. He shift clicks it by clicking the unit. Like he doesn't do a lot of like control groups. He'll put his buildings in the same spot and he'll just like spam queue units by clicking the unit, which is
that's what I do.
Something you see every day.
It's such an old school kind of thing, yeah.
But he's fast enough where it works for him, and clearly he's here, right? And you know, Dave, this whole point you brought up about the relics, like 5 relics, sure, but it's all right at the front now, and that could all be available to DracKeN, who's still mining extra stone and extra resources in the middle, and who can finally wall. I think he's misclicked a tree instead of the wall, but he can wall the south.
One of those popped out at the back. Take it right now, Yo, before he's within range. Take one. Just get one. Take it. Take it and run.
I'm not actually sure. Oh, the relic. Sorry. I was just like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there he goes. But he's not going to get more because these crossbows have so much range. And now they're going to be Arbalest, which was an upgrade that needed to come in earlier. But he prioritized Halb, which I think was a good call here. And Halb number's pretty high as well. We're going to have 30 Halb soon for DracKeN, 180 pop. And
Yo's dead.
There's
no way.
Yeah, he's been fancy here, which I appreciate. But in distracting his opponent and the sides, he's actually distracted himself from the most important area of this map when up against the Britons. And that's right through the middle.
Also, I think, like, DracKeN, sure, he delayed his production by making those knights, but making the knights was super smart.
Yeah.
Just defending there with mangonels, Yo is going to trade off. You're still going to be distracted. The knights coming in and clearing up all those mangonels on the little area from Mr. Yo was great. And, well, Yo has basically no chance now. He can take one fight with the Hussar, but, like, Halb's already in.
Yeah.
Halbs will decimate this army.
And this has reached a point now where DracKeN, once he gets those relics at home, he doesn't actually need to push. He will, but he's better off in the long run. And yeah, Halb Arbalest with the Britons, of course, all this extra range, more upgrades coming in on both types of units, the Halbs and also the Arbalest. It is really tough to stop with just Hussar, and DracKeN knows it. And he moves forward here, and we might even see a 4th castle from him just to solidify his control. Bomber cannon will go down to Arbalest, and Yo just doesn't know what hit him here. He's still no re-wall in the south. If Yo has any chance, it's through that area. DracKeN needed to get that wall down, but he's so focused in the middle.
One little palisade can stop all of this.
Oh,
he does have Halb. He can counter it. They're getting in there.
Oh,
the
God.
Hussar is still at the front there. If he's super distracted, maybe he'll take a bad fight at the front.
Yeah. It just feels like the army he has on the front is still so strong. And DracKeN hasn't noticed yet, so he's going to get more army than anything. And now he knows.
But he's losing builds here, but it's not enough. I mean, Yo's trying to tech now into Cav Archer. That's such a long road.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to lose a lot of builds to this. But there's just still so much army on the front. He's got 80 army, and he's got the Trebs with Warwolf. He just took out 2 Trebs and a Bomber Cannon from Yo. Yo barely has gold income right now, as he's going to run to the north. Yo will know, with the north and the south available to him and that raid happening, that he's still got a slight chance if he could expand, but it just still feels like too little too late.
And there's no Hussar left in the base from DracKeN, so even this bomber cannon here is going to get cleared up. Castle will go down. Still can't engage with the Hussar, even if he builds up like 50 of those, because the Halbs are there to protect. And it's another castle for DracKeN.
So good.
I don't know where he's going with that monk with the relic. He's building a new monastery. Okay.
I love how he never wavered. DracKeN, like, he never even thought about making a castle at home. He just said, that's not how we're going to play this game. All my castles need to go in the middle, because that's my priority as the Britons. And even though Yo collected, 5 relics, he didn't hold on to them for very long, and DracKeN was able to stick to the game plan here against a very annoying, schemy Yo who tried to play the sides more than anything. But that's an important win for DracKeN, $40 in the bank, obviously. And, little confidence boost.
Yep.
He could maybe win on Arabia. He's got Chinese. DracKeN is not a player who needs to play closed maps all the time, believe me.
I think Yo is better suited there if he goes heavier into light cav production. I mean, I think he only made 3 early on, right? I mean, light cav is free. If you make like 7 or 8, suddenly DracKeN doesn't get the relics from the middle, and DracKeN can't just freely push out into the middle either. And you can control the sides too. You delay your villager production a little bit, but I think it's fine, honestly.
Well, where does that first castle from DracKeN go if Yo makes more light cav, but at the very least Siege pushes the middle instead?
Yeah, he has to put it defensively, and then he has to put a second one, and then he has to put a third one forward.
Yeah, like placing the Siege Workshop and pushing the sides at that time was actually good for DracKeN because it just opened up a window for him to go exactly where he wanted. I can understand the thinking, but I think we've seen it enough times these days where middle is still king, especially when players who contest for relics always make their monastery at the front. So if you lose the front, you're just going to lose all the things that you fought for anyways. Not to mention the gold and the stone there. But well played, DracKeN. Yo, I think showing us that he needs to brush up on his fortified clearing meta a little bit.
Yeah, he probably doesn't care.
And yeah, he might not care. That's also true.
Yo is one of those guys where if it's like, it clearly doesn't suit his play style, he's not changing himself.
Yeah.
He just has that personality where he's just like, oh, whatever, I'll win on the maps I'm supposed to win on.
So this is a bit more open, as we're talking about. And Portuguese for Yo. He does have a very wallable map if he wishes to do it. Players still have 3 wood lines, which is fairly similar to versions we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But a little bit more hills at times and more openness. Like Yo's golds could be a spot of worry for him in this game.
Yep, that's his. That's the cross on his grave right there. That gold if he dies trying to go up for it. That's his tombstone, right? Here lies Yo. All he wanted was some gold.
Yeah, I mean, I love the other aspects of his map. As for DracKeN, the starting gold's awesome, right? But I think the other golds and the stones are arguably worse. So you're kind of rotating like which position you'd prefer. Obviously, if Yo wants to get on the stone, that's easier for him. But gold's probably the biggest thing to think about here. So Yo, who picked Portuguese on Arabia now, his home map, is not going to go for the mill. He's going to go for the lumber camp. And a lot of people have been going for the early mill because the Portuguese bring in wood. So Yo clearly doesn't think that that's a good idea for now. The meter of judgment here on good starts with Chinese is the idle TC time, and the perfect starts are going to have like 20 to 22 idle TC time seconds.
Oh, he shot it.
He just shot his deer.
He just killed his own deer. Oh, God.
That's tilting. That's not going to help DracKeN, but so far so good with the Vil production anyways.
If there was a Re, he'd be using it right now.
Yep, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, the Re's definitely got to a point over the last year or two of that being standard within our scene, where it was never because of the map, it was just because a mistake was made.
Yeah,
or like,
exactly.
Or like they took a risk trying to lame and didn't find anything, so they're just like, okay, I'll just use my Re.
Re is really important on Nomad tournaments and Nomad games, just in case.
Yeah, sure.
There's some sort of like just awful generation, which is pretty rare nowadays. But on set maps like this, usually a Re is only necessary if it's like an admin Re.
Yeah, agreed. And those things are still obviously there. So if a player has an issue, they don't have a bore or a resource, obviously that is
The
something
worst
that
was,
gets
like,
restarted.
people abusing Rees as DracKeN is pushing the steer the long way around. People abusing Rees in the past for, going out to try and lame because they know they have a Re.
Yep.
If they fail to lame, then they just call a Re.
Well, I remember a classic series. I think it was Viper versus Max, or it was like, no. It was definitely like 2017, 2018. But there was this common trend that started where if you used a Re early against Viper, he would just immediately go YOLO lame against you because then you couldn't use a Re to recover. It was like the only time you'd ever really see Viper go aggressive.
And
with
Viper would never use his Rees.
He would hold on to them
in the bank for a long time because he had trust in himself, right? Even
Yep.
if he had a bad start, he'd have to have a really bad start to use a Re.
Yep.
Because he had trust in himself that this start might be better than my next one anyway. So why use a Re here?
Yeah, but we, thankfully have avoided all that at this point. I think map scripting has gotten to that point now where we don't really have to worry about that.
Yeah, we used to have 3 in a best of 9 per each player.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane.
Not to mention like 4-minute spec delays and there's nothing wrong with spec delays. But Yo's gonna drush here, Dave. He's coming in with the militia.
Yep.
And his scout gets
Yo's
destroyed.
gonna lose HP on his scout, which is terrible. Especially against loomed villagers here. DracKeN, he's a bit salty that Yo banned out Arena, so he's just gonna make Arabia into Arena with some massive walls.
It's absolutely what you should try and do with Chinese because you have additional villagers. You'll have the cheaper techs. You just want to stay alive. And Yo's got enough HP here where he can get the block down. Let's see what DracKeN decides to do here. Some players will fight this off. He might be able to, but he needs his scout to be there as well. And yet, good job from him to realize it and just back away from the time being.
Waiting for his scout to come back. Yeah. Doesn't take a hit from that militia either. Good control from DracKeN. He's still waiting. Send a 3rd villager, and you should be able to clear this up with Loom and get your walls down. And Yo is just going to move away from that area. DracKeN still doesn't have a scout in.
I like this from DracKeN, though. He could still get the wall down eventually, and he gets the quick wall down. This is a player who doesn't play Arabia frequently, who has dealt with this very well so far. I don't think he'll end up losing a villager to this.
A little bit of extra damage on the scout. He did get the wall down to the south, and now he can send 1 villager out to complete that one to the left. Still wide open at the front, but he's on the way to Feudal Age before Mr. Yo.
Yep. Now, what'll get interesting here is if Yo can afford to add a 3rd and 4th militia. And he's going to try it, Dave, but he's housed. And it's a bad one, too. So the timing here, if it doesn't pan out for Yo, will be because of that. And this is what I find so awkward with the Chinese. It's like, you're justified in walling, but then can you, get the timing of the archers and the scouts right, while also getting your eco upgrades?
This feels like a lot of the time you get to Feudal Age, and with all the walling and the defenses you've had to put down, you don't have enough wood for that production building.
Exactly.
Or even for your eco upgrades or anything.
I think
really fine line to tread. He's gonna be fine here though, I think.
If Yo would have had the militia on the way already, he would have number 4 out of that barracks, but he was housed. I'd be curious to see if DracKeN goes for scouts or if he goes for archers. If he knew militia were coming, he should go for a range.
Goes for a stable.
He also misclicked his lumber camp villagers. I think he set them on a control group or something on the right side. I don't know exactly what's happening, but he is going to be stable. Oh man, he's going to kill the scout.
Himself with villagers. He does kill the scout. That's big. It's a big scout kill. And he scouts the additional militia and he nopes right out of there. Also has to make he has to make a house.
And get town watch because he got housed. And that's just the pressure, man. Yo has been trying to pressure nonstop.
And town watch means you can't get horse collar either.
Yep.
It's just it's just ugly.
Damage control, DracKeN, damage control. He gets it so far. Now, the follow-up from Yo is really important. That house.
Oh, he's not working on the house. He's not working on the house. The house is down. The men-at-arms are in. Yo is doing significant damage here on the wood line. That's going to be 1 villager down. Great block there. The men-at-arms from Mr. Yo and DracKeN. Well, he's limited the damage to only 1 villager so far. But can his scouts do damage? Likely not.
But, and here's the thing, right? He can't make more scouts. Which is why if he at least went for a range, he could have transitioned on the gold or made a couple, at least 1 archer and some skirms. So he's got to get value with his scouts if he can, while also defending from all this. And this is precisely the game you won against Chinese. and also the type of game you want against an arena player. If you talk to anyone on ladder about what do you do against players who like arena, man-at-arm builds, because they're hugely technical, they're really hard to defend, and it's just not a situation that they're used to compared to going scouts, which you do on arena a lot. So I've been impressed with Yo so far. Obviously, this is his home map. And apart from, you know, getting housed occasionally, I think it's been perfect as he comes forward with 2 archers now. And those archers get to where the man-at-arms are. Those villagers on the lumber camp are going to have to leave.
I mean, it'd be really surprising to see Yo lose to DracKeN on Arabia, right? But DracKeN will find value with the scouts. He's actually killing a villager. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Just 1 extra scout made and he kills a vill. Kind of worth. Okay.
Yeah. Also, his walling on his gold is good. So that's good. He also has walled to the left of the stable, which means that the archers and the spearmen can't actually meet up with the man-at-arms yet. Because there is a hole on the right side. Oh, God. And now the gold. Oh, now the gold. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, so
delete the mining camp. He's going to lose this. No, he's going to lose that villager. Can't go to his wood line anymore. He definitely needs a range. He's got all the wood in the world. Doesn't want to commit to a range now. It feels bad, but he does anyway.
This might be over soon. Like, Yo has just beasted him. The Drush didn't kill things initially, but it's just been full damage control testing here from DracKeN, and you just got to know that Yo's going to be able to do so much behind this with his economy in most cases. And DracKeN, I think it was a misread of the situation. I think if he plays more Arabia, he probably goes range there in that situation instead of stable. He's going to lose at least another villager before he gets enough ranged units out here. If he runs home, it's a disaster situation for these villagers anyways.
I think against Portuguese, if you see a 2 militia drush, you have to go range, right? Because the follow-up is always going to be, like, even spearman archer follow-up to that. It makes it difficult, especially if the militia still have full HP, which they did.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's also just what can you afford off the economy that you have. And if you play Arabia a million times, you know in that situation, okay, I cannot afford scouts. Granted, he did get a pick off. But DracKeN, very much like Ganji earlier, finding that the class is obviously shown through here for Yo.
Oh, boy.
And everything's looking pretty messy. This is a disaster area right now for DracKeN. And if Yo doesn't win this game in Feudal, he'll probably have a much better castle age time and be able to dominate.
Look at his wall, too. Just house walls. Yo knows he's completely safe.
Yeah, he's not rushing anything.
And even if this does to get to castle age, if DracKeN comes and pushes back, he's going to find houses, not just a single layer of palisade.
Yep. Yeah, the fact that he's not palisade walling is because he knows he's got full control over this game. Back to the berries now. DracKeN's going to lose another villager.
He killed one on the lumber camp at the front, too.
Yep.
6 vills down. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And the efficiency, too. Like, the worker efficiency overall this entire game is 69%. Not so nice in this case. Where it's been 83% for Yo. So that's not a gap that you see all that frequently. Yo's got 3 armies now.
He's got 500 wood, 7 villagers queued.
Yeah.
Yo has res for days.
Also, the value of the men-at-arms.
For DracKeN. Yeah, value of men-at-arms has been massive.
He just lost his first one. It's pretty crazy. Also, DracKeN's got a villager heading to the left.
That vill was forward and ran into the archers by accident, and now it's just
running. Maybe she was trying to tame a horse so she could ride away and save herself. She's gonna run into a wolf instead. Can't tame that. Yeah, this generally is just faster castle age from Yo. Yo's actually added scouts, though. I feel like Yo's just having fun. You know, it's like, I think he knows this game is won. Woo, 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 by the way, on the left side.
I love that villager. She couldn't decide whether to run away from the archer or attack the wolf. That entire engagement. Yo is just in cruise control. He's played a million games like this, likely. DracKeN says GG 11. Well played. He knew how outclassed he was.
Yeah.
That game, at least. But he does take a win from Yo, which I think he should be pretty happy with.
I agree.
Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I think he showed how good he is on fortified clearing, and you have to imagine DracKeN's going to be just as big of a threat on Arena or on Regicide Fortress. So no matter who DracKeN's up against, they're probably going to ban out, a closed map. probably always going to be Arena, and then there's always going to be one of those other 2 choices available for DracKeN. If DracKeN gets a win from every single player in the group, granted it depends on how everything goes, realistically, he has a very good chance of actually staying up because 3-0s can happen. So I think getting a win up against a player like Yo is something he'll be happy with. And then ultimately, I think he's going to need to try and find his 2-1s or 3-0s against players who aren't as big. I was going to say bigly named. aren't as big a name.
Bigly named.
aren't as big a name as Yo. Yo's also not going to be disappointed in a 2-1, Dave, but it is a promoted player. So there is a world where that could definitely decide different positions in the group later on. But good series.
Bigly named.
Bigly named.
Mr. Vast. Mr.
It just,
Huge.
I don't know. Like sometimes there's just these words my brain creates, and it makes sense. Like I know when I say the word that people will know what it means, but then I find out it's not a word. So
the worst is when you have 2-word combo and you mix up the first letter of each, like you switch them around from the 2 words. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, I get it.
Absolutely.
Well, great feudal pressure there from Yo. I don't know if we really got to see the power of Portuguese necessarily. Like, I don't think his build was that crazy. I just think that
not
he
really.
looked good.
DracKeN just didn't have... he didn't read it correctly, like you said.
I agree. But I did like the confidence from DracKeN to draft Chinese first. That is a civ that a lot of people go for on Arabia. So that was pretty sick. You would think that he would have drafted his fortified clearing civs first, but he did give himself his best chance drafting Chinese.
And he needs to take every win he can in this group. I have to say, I love this group. I think overall, it might be one of the... You could make an argument that it's the weakest group here, maybe. Even with Yo, MBL, and Leary, just because Back, Dark, and DracKeN running at the bottom there kind of even that out a little bit. But still... Yo, MBL, Leary in the same group.
It is weird to say that it might be the weakest when you have MBL, Leary, and Yo in the same group, but Backed is going to be coming out of retirement to play.
Exactly.
And then Drac and Dark might not be quite as crazy as some of the other promoted players. Like, for example, Group D's promoted players, Sebastian and Sito, I think bring a slightly higher level.
I'm looking at Group A as like potentially the most competitive group. If
Agreed.
That's like strongest average overall.
Yeah.
Group A is kind of nuts.
But, I mean, all the groups are insane, and only 4 players survive. 2 big names are going to have to go down. If you remember, like, last time, we had, like, Dogao getting relegated out, Say My Name, Classic Pro, so you definitely got to take results when they come.
Slam as well got relegated.
Slam relegated. There's more names as well. They're just slipping my mind at the moment.